Guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where today we're going to be having a conversation about my top 5 picks for the end of the month of September 2022. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. As always, get out of the way, we do weekly giveaways. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed, leave a like, comment down below on any of the pre-recorded videos we post each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, you can comment and like on each of the 3 videos, so you get up to 3 entries. And then as well, since we have 3 winners each and every week, you got 3 opportunities to win and 3 opportunities to enter. But let's jump into today's topic. So every single month, I do it around the end of the month. It's going to be my monthly updated list, whether it be product that I think is still a good pickup, and for the fact of the matter that it's as cheap as it is, it shouldn't be, and I recommend people to pick it up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Or whether it be some product that I feel like has been slept on that we haven't really had a conversation about, and I think it's a really good time to point some of that out. So I'm excited to get into our top 5 list for the end of the month of September. But jumping into it, and this is not in any particular order, but I will of course share my general sentiments on how I feel about each one. Starting off at the number 1, we're going to have a conversation about, yes, you guys have already heard me talk about it before, Silver Tempest. Obviously, you know that I'm a huge fan of Silver Tempest as a whole. When it comes to the potential value I think it could have, obviously you're saying to yourself, well, Eli, we don't know what's going to be in the set in terms of if there's even going to be a Lugia alt art. And although that might be true, we're under the general assumption that it's pretty much likely. Also, we have an exciting discussion to have about Monday's video, which we're going to see some potential leaks that happened, and you guys might already know that by then, but we'll save that for Monday's video. That's going to add some confirmation. That's going to make me double down within the set on some of the other things that we know is going to be inside of the overall booster box, and just the set as a whole. So for that reason, I absolutely love it. I think, as we've talked about many times before, Lugia sets have historically done extremely well, and history, of course, I think is just going to repeat itself in this regard. And being able to get it at $95 a pop if you get a booster box bulk discount, I think is a great deal. Obviously, if you don't buy it as a booster box, you're going to get a cheaper price on eBay. But that is one of my top 5. Going into number 2, and I actually, not only do I like this one, I also want to add another point. I think this is great for what's going on with the Pokemon Special Delivery Charizard. For those of you guys that don't know, with the Special Delivery Charizard codes, you can activate your code, and within a week, it refreshes the refrain time from you shipping it, the card back to yourself. So you can legit go buy the Arceus V figure collection, get yourself the Charizard, wait a week, and then do it again. So it's free shipping on orders over $20. This is $5 above that. So this is a great opportunity in my opinion. I've always been a big fan of this item. It was my number 1 item to pick up going into the year of 2022. So 2021 transitioning to 2022. I was super high in this product. Still super high in this product. It kind of has everything you want. Really good. It's a really good figure, really good promo card, really good variety of packs, and putting it all together at a $25 price point I think is very reasonable, very fair, and for that reason I really enjoy this card, as I've mentioned, or this box. And as I mentioned before, you know, looking at the 2020 Galar Pals, it had a very similar design, of course, of this box. Instead, it was the trio with a promo of the Pikachu on the front. It had a worst pack selection, of course, still included the Cosmic Eclipse and the figures of the Galar Pals, but it's a very kind of spin-off-y design, and that was the number 1 greatest yield return in 2020 in terms of overall investment for the Sword and Shield era. So that's something that, you know, I would more than likely expect to repeat itself in the near future. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a different time with the recession on the loom, but I still think this will hold up really well long term. Now, for the number 3, we're going to be having a conversation about Lost Thunder build and battles. If I'm correct, I actually had this at one point on long-term investments. I'm still a huge fan of this. Going back to, if we looked at the overall value of the set as a whole, I still think it's crazy to me that this set is where it is right now. We look at the overall yearly price. It's literally sitting at the bottom still for the overall value of Lost Thunder packs. You can still come in and buy this pack at around that $34, $35 price point. Obviously, as you can see, the buy volume on it is extremely low in terms of the supply. You'll have to go to other places like eBay, but if you still want to pick one or two up right now, you still can do so for that kind of $34, $35 price point, which I think is still a really good price when you consider the fact what you're going to be getting with the 4-packs inside, as well as the promo cards and just the general uncommon and commons that you can either keep or sell off. But like I said before, we're looking at keeping this sealed one way or another, and I think Lost Thunder is going to be one of those sets that's going to do really well long term, because it was doing really well long term until we had a huge resupply of it. And so the opportunity to get in a Sun and Moon era set, and it was one of the best performing Sun and Moon era sets at a discounted price because of that resupply, I think is an extremely good opportunity that, like I said before, the fact that it hasn't moved a lot, I think really just goes to show that people are sleeping on the overall price of this specific item. Now the number 4 one, Brilliant Stars Elite Trainer Boxes. As we had talked about in a couple weeks ago's video, we had a reprint of Brilliant Stars ETBs, and prices have started to correct. So now, as it stands on TCG Player, you're able to get it for around $35. Other sites I've seen, some people say that they've been able to pick it up for around the $30 price point. I think that's great. I think that's killer. If you can get it for $30, $32, I think that's the ideal price point. You get it for $35, I'm not going to fault you for it, but $30 to $32, I mean, you can't beat that price point, because once you start getting close to MSRP, wholesale prices, you're talking around that $25 price point, give or take. So if you're getting $5 off of that for, as it currently stands, arguably the second or third best set in the Sword and Shield era, I mean, that's a great opportunity that's really hard to kind of pass up on. And so I think that, with that recent reprint, and as we've talked about many times before in terms of, ETBs, it's not very often you see reprints for it. And now, of course, we have seen a ton of ETB reprints happen. Most recently, Pokemon Company historically likes to do reprints for a lot of specific products all at once. We saw that last year with booster boxes all getting reprinted all at once. I can go through the list, but for those of you guys who have been following me for a while, you already know what got reprinted. And recently we've had a ton of ETBs get reprinted. So, this kind of lines up with a really good opportunity with the ETB starting to finally drop in price because of those reprints. And so for that reason, I really want to take advantage of this specific item. Now, last but not least, and this is one actually, we had a couple of people in the in our Tuesday-Thursday chat. For those of you guys that want to check it out, we do Q&A sessions Tuesdays and Thursdays where we talk about just all things Pokemon. And if you have any questions, investment questions, Pokemon questions, then we're here to answer that either as a chat or me as an individual. Someone had mentioned something that I found very interesting, and I do think it's something that's warrants being discussed, and that's why I'm going to put it at our number 5 spot, whatever. It's on the top 5 list. You guys know what I'm saying. It's the Pokemon TCG Pokemon Go Elite Trainer Box Plus. I think this is a product that, there's an argument to be made. This is very much slept on. When you consider the fact of the matter that when this first came out, a lot of people were kind of panicking because they saw that it sold out immediately. Everyone was asking me, Eli, is it going to come back in stock? And I said, this is exactly what's happened to literally every single Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. As far as I'm aware, it's usually sold out leading up to the release of it. And then once it hits to the release of it within a week, it's available again. Obviously, the only instance in where you haven't seen that become true was the first 2, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, and then Celebration. So I should say the first 3, but every other set other than that has followed the very same trend. And so for that reason, why not take advantage of the fact that the trend has changed with a Pokemon Go, exclusive Elite Trainer Box Plus? Obviously, with your traditional Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, you have your additional 2-pack from standard and a different variation design. Well, with this one, obviously, it is a little bit different since it is part of the holiday set. It is going to include 12 Pokemon Go booster packs, as well as a couple of other special design pieces with it exclusive to this item. So I think there's a real opportunity with that. Obviously, it's not going to hold anywhere near as much value as the Celebrations one when you consider the fact that it came with 16 packs altogether. 4 of those, of course, being was it 12 of those being Celebrations and then 4 of those being Standard? I can't remember particularly, but regardless, you had more pack value out of the Celebrations one, so I'm not here to directly compare it to that, but what I am here to say is that in terms of exclusivity with the Elite Trainer Box Pluses, we've only had 2, and I think that getting an opportunity to get in one, which I think, as I've mentioned many times before, the Pokemon Go set, although it's not my favorite set, of course, I've dogged on it quite a bit as an overall set, but from an investment perspective, I do think there's still a lot of opportunity because it's a very nostalgic set that I think could hold really good value long term. And so being able to gain access to one of these specific products, you guys, of course, who have been following me for the channel for a very long time now, know my stance on Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. Obviously, there's no definitive telling of how much there is out there, but there's speculative risk that we can take, I feel like, in the overall long-term perspective, considering the fact that it's only sold on the Pokemon Center, which is, in my opinion, going to add value because you're not going to have it being mass printed like it would if it was, of course, being sold to local game stores and online retailers. And so I think that can hold an additional value and weight to it. And then, of course, it once again being a nostalgic set that I think will perform well long term because it does have big character names like Mewtwo, Dragonite, and then, of course, the Shiny Trio, with that, of course, being the first set to introduce a shiny Venusaur in the Pokemon history. So really exciting, I would say, for my top 5 picks of this month. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the picks that I chose. Obviously, like I said before, it's a consistently updating list. So it's never going to be that, hey, all of a sudden I hate this product now that it's not on the list. No, it's either that the price has gone up and I just don't want to talk about it, or there are other opportunities that I want to get a little bit of a shout out to, or that I think are just too good to pass up on that are going to be added to this list. So, of course, we'll do this video at the end of next month in October. But as far as it goes, that is all for today's video. As always, if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We post pre-recorded content each and every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As always, we have 3 winners each and every week, and since you can comment and like on each video, that's 3 opportunities to enter, which means there are very high odds of you potentially winning. So, but that is all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.